What's up guys, Rob at Optimal Bodies. Now we're going to do a little walk and talk today, which is actually quite appropriate to the subject matter that we're going to be talking about in this video, which is the power of something so simple as walking. So if you flash back to millions and millions of years ago, we weren't designed just to sit at a desk for 8 hours a day, an hour either side of that driving, you sat down, you get home, you sit in your chair. Can you see how this sedentary life easily builds up? But for a start off, we're designed to move. We're biomechanical beings that should move. We move, it pumps blood around the body. We've got calf muscles that squeeze our veins and arteries and everything like that. Movement gets synovial fluid, lubricating the joints, all these sort of things. But the purpose of this video is actually using it as a fat loss tool when you've hit a plateau with your diet. Something so simple as just walking and upping your step count can rapidly increase your fat loss, skyrocket your fat loss progression. So we're going to do this via movement. So you've got a basal metabolic rate, so that's like basically how many calories your body uses just to keep you alive. Your heart beating, your brain uses a lot of calories, muscles growing and repairing, all these things that are just happening in the background. Then you've got the calorie deficit made by your diet if you're in a fat loss phase. You've got your actual exercise when you're actually training, like in the gym. But then you've got this NEAT, this non-exercise adaptive thermogenesis. So what it means is just like fidgeting and movement and general moving about that can add up to that calorie deficit. And a good way of using this tool is when you feel like you've hit a plateau, you feel like you've lowered your calories as much as you can, like you feel like you're suffering and you're white knuckling it a bit, and you think, well, I can't lower my food anymore because hunger will just give out, and we're not designed to be starving. And that's when people go off the rails, go back to how they're eating, and they're yo-yoing about. So what a good tool can be is keeping the food the same, because we don't want to lower it anymore. A lot of reasons, but mainly metabolic rate will drop if you're not putting enough food in the system. But think about this, we're still eating for nutrients, macro and micronutrients, whether it's protein, carbs, fat, minerals, vitamins, electrolytes. We don't want that to suffer, so if we'll get to a point where we can't lower the food anymore. What can we do? We can up the NEAT. What's a really easy way of doing that? Go for a walk. Again, stupidly simple, but say you've plateaued, say you were losing a couple of pounds a week, it's gone down to a pound a week, then half a pound, and then past couple of weeks the scale has stayed the same, but you don't want to lower the food anymore. You might just be on that brink of needing a few more calories off just to drop you back into a calorie deficit. Because if you just eat the same, your body eventually isn't going to give up that fat anymore. Your metabolism down-regulates to adapt to all this fat being burnt. Otherwise you just waste away. So, and it's completely normal, you're not doing anything wrong. So your metabolism has to down-regulate, so you just become more efficient. It's like sticking your car in 6th gear. It saves money, but look at it as your body, it's saving body fat, which we don't want in a fat loss phase. So you just need a couple of 200-300 calories added on to that deficit to get things going again. But now if you're maintaining your weight, it means what you're putting in your body is the same as what you're burning. So you're at this maintenance baseline. We need to tip the scales back into the deficit. Easy way of doing that: get out in nature, wander about, have a walk, up it. It's great psychologically, therapeutically as well, as we said at the start, getting the body moving. But for a fat loss goal, without having to lower your food, it's a very gentle, stress-free, delicate method on the body, just tipping you into that calorie deficit, just dropping below that, getting the fat loss going again. What do I recommend? Just increase your step count. If you're one of these people that likes to analyse things, very analytical, with your watch or your phone, set a certain amount of steps, increase it by say 5,000, 10,000. That is your new little calorie deficit burner for the day. Or just general movement, just be more mindful about moving around more. If you're sitting, could you be standing? If you're standing, could you be walking? If you're walking, could you be running? So on and so forth. A very long-winded way, but I like to explain stuff, of saying go for a walk if everything else is in place. Don't just walk and expect everything to magically disappear. But if you've really pushed your diet and you're training in the gym and you sleep and all those factors, adding this in could just be the little tipping point that tips you back into the calorie deficit for that fat loss goal. And what have you got to lose? You're not going to get injured. You can have, at least you can have that mental clarity, oxygen, get out in nature. Robert Optimal Bodies signing out.